G'day, my name's Neen James and welcome back to Amaze TV. One of my clients recently called me. She was the head of learning and development and she said, Neen, we've all moved to an open plan environment and nobody has a clue how to operate. What she told me was that people were really struggling to adjust after being in offices. It was so noisy and people were distracted and constantly interrupted and they had no idea how they were going to get anything done. Do you work in an open plan environment or do you have some of your team members in open plan? What I was able to do was work with them to create a program in order to really accelerate their productivity in an open plan environment so they could pay attention to what really matters. We talked about some do's and don'ts for open plan and I was thinking maybe I could share those with you and maybe these will be useful for your team as well. Open plan productivity is fantastic because what it does is open plans, they allow you to have great collaboration, brilliant creativity. You have the opportunity to see what all of your team are working on. But some people feel like they don't have much privacy anymore. They're fully exposed. They have to be more accountable. And some people get really easily distracted. There was a study by the Gallup Association that was published in the Harvard Business Review, which said that we're constantly being interrupted, and every time we're interrupted, it takes on average 23 minutes to get back on task. That's crazy. So here's some do's and don'ts for an open plan environment. If you do have an open plan environment, encourage your team to use headphones. Now, if you're going to use headphones, you really need some rules. So you need an agreement with your team about what headphones mean. Consider creating a do not disturb signal for each of the team members. One of my pharmaceutical companies, what they do is they put little push balls on their computer. If there's a push ball on the computer, that's their do not disturb. One of my manufacturing clients in Boston, on the back of their chairs, they have green and red. And so what they do is they use this little slide. So as you approach their seat, you can tell whether you're allowed to disturb them or not. One of the do's of an open plan environment is to honor personal space. Allow people to have their space and to create it in the way that they want to. But don't intrude on people's open space. Also, too, respect others' privacy. Don't be reading other people's documents or their screens or looking over their shoulders. If you want to get more productive in an open plan environment, also, too, make sure that your workspace is clear and tidy. There is a commonly thought thing, which is a messy desk is the sign of a messy mind. Now, some might claim that they know where everything is on their desk. But do you really want to look out of control to the people around you? And that's one of the subtle signals that you send in an open plan environment. Also, too, please create agreements with those around you. What are your do not disturb agreements? Maybe you have an understanding that if two people are going to meet, you go and find a conference room or a huddle space or couches where you can have a different conversation. So that's some do's for open plan. And here's some of my don'ts for open plan. Don't use speakerphone. It is thoughtless. People around you don't want to hear your conversation, so be really careful. Don't interrupt conversations. Just because you hear someone talking about a project doesn't give you a right to contribute. Don't intrude on others' space. Just use the space that is yours in the open plan. And don't invite yourself to someone's meeting and don't invite yourself to lunch if you see team members who are walking off. And don't think people are talking about you. They're really not. They're very busy with their own objectives. Also, too, don't provide unsolicited feedback to people. Often when people need to get things done and we have a solution, sometimes we want to jump in and contribute. You really need to ask people whether they want that feedback or not. And then don't assume that people share the same work style as you. We created some do's and don'ts for one of our clients, and so if you would like access to that, you are welcome to check out neenjames.com. For those of you who work in an open plan environment, how could you accelerate the productivity of your team and allow them to focus their attention on what really matters? Hopefully those do's and don'ts are things that you can share with your team. What else would you add? I would love to hear from you. Feel free to write your comments below. You can also connect with us on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Neen James, or you can come across and like us at Neen James Communications on Facebook. Thank you for being a regular watcher of Amaze TV. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can just simply click subscribe, and every time we have a new video, it'll pop into your inbox. Today, as a leader, you can choose to really be amazing and help your team increase their productivity by paying attention to what really matters in your open plan environment.